What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Poke Office. My name is Colin. The big question is, can you still invest in 2024? I've been thinking about it a lot, so I got lots of different thoughts. I've put together a little bit of a presentation, but my resounding answer is a big time yes. I think Pokemon is still hot and ripe for the taking. Before we get into it, I got to give you a disclaimer because that's just the way the internet works these days. So this isn't financial advice. This is just my personal opinion. This is what I'm doing to invest in Pokemon cards, so I'm just sharing with you my thoughts, what I'm doing for my own portfolio, because I like to practice what I preach. So make sure to leave a comment down below, hit the like button for me, and if you like the content, make sure to subscribe. It's really helping me. And if you didn't see my last video, it was all about goals, and one of my goals is to grow the subscriber count. So I'd appreciate your help. Let's get into it. So here's kind of the breakdown of the video. We're going to talk about what I think about the Sun and Moon era, because that was just a little bit before I got back into Pokemon. Personal opinion, I think we've kind of missed the boat on it a little bit, even though I still am like kind of part of my goals is to, I told you, is to get one of each booster box ever from Pokemon. So like the next step of that for me, based on my budget, is to get a couple more Sun and Moon booster boxes into the collection. So I still think they're good. I just think that there's better investment opportunities, but we'll get into that. Next, we'll talk about the Sword and Shield era booster boxes, which I think are like the bomb.com. And then we'll get into Sun and Moon. Then just a couple extra thoughts. We can talk about some Elite Trainer boxes as well. And this whole new thing about like Pokemon investing has become a real thing since COVID. So lots of people are holding on to product, which might create its own little economy in and of itself. So we'll talk about that. Let's get to the presentation here first, starting with Sun and Moon. So here we are, the Sun and Moon era. We're not going to go through every booster box. I just picked four kind of like pretty cool ones. First one being Burning Shadows with that Rainbow Charizard, which is a huge card. This booster box is up 14% over the year, so that's how long these specific graphs are. Started at $363, now at $413, so up like, I don't know, $50 basically, which is not too bad. The next one, Unbroken Bonds, is up 24.4%, which actually is up like $100, so that's a really nice increase over the last year. Unbroken Bonds doing quite well. Then you have Unified Minds, a 66.3% increase. So this is a huge one, actually. Started at just under 400. Now it's up $260 to $662.19, which is sick because I have one of those, which is awesome for me. Cosmic Eclipse also doing amazing, up 57% from $550 to $863, which is just over $300 gained in the last little bit. So here is what I'm thinking about Sun and Moon era. There's a lot of really cool booster boxes. I obviously didn't include Team Up, which has gone absolutely bonkers. But I feel like we've missed the boat a little bit. Like this last year and the year before that was really the time to shine for Sun and Moon based on the charts that I've looked at. So like Burning Shadows, Unbroken Bonds, Unified Minds, Cosmic Eclipse. The first two up like 15 to 25%. So they're like already kind of past that window where they had huge gains. Unified Minds and Cosmic Eclipse, what are they, like 5 years old-ish in that realm? 4 to 5 years old, I guess. And they really hit their stride in the last like year and a half where they've really gone crazy. And I feel like you needed to buy those booster boxes at the end of 2022 to make a real huge profit on those booster boxes. Am I saying they're a bad investment? No, I don't think so at all, because I have a Unified Minds booster box. Definitely want to get a Cosmic Eclipse. Like, these are amazing collection pieces. Plus, they're still going to increase over time. If you look at older booster boxes and even X and Y era booster boxes, like the trend line still continues to go a little bit up. It's just a matter of percentage gained is going to start to slow down, because as the number grows, you have to gain bigger dollar amounts to move the same percentage. That's just the way the math works. So the last thing I want to say about Sun and Moon era, I've done 2 videos over the last like 6 months. One was about booster boxes, where if you invested in 2 cases of each Sun and Moon booster box, you would have profited like $64,000 or something like that. I can't remember the exact number, but absolutely insane. That's profit. So that's after getting your investment back, you would have profited $60-something thousand in like the span of 6 to 7 years was the window. Same with Elite Trainer boxes. I just did that video a couple months ago, and if you would have dollar cost averaged in for like right around that MSRP mark for Elite Trainer boxes, investing in 2 cases of each set of Elite Trainer boxes. This Elite Trainer boxes are including the specialty sets. Then you would have profited like $58,000 in 6 to 7 years. So that is insane. So what I want to do is switch the script now and move into Sword and Shield era, where even if Sword and Shield era, lots of people are talking about like, oh, Sun and Moon wasn't nearly as printed. Sword and Shield era, everyone was back into collecting. Everyone was like holding stock. So let's say this, even if Sword and Shield era only does half as good as Sun and Moon era, that means that you could profit by buying 2 cases of each booster box set. 2 cases. You could profit like $30,000 in 6 to 7 years. Or if you invested in 2 cases of Elite Trainer boxes and it did half as good, you could profit close to $30,000. So it doesn't really matter what you like to collect or what you like to invest in. I personally enjoy booster boxes. I think they're much more like purchasable or sellable when the time comes, like people are searching for them. That's just my personal take on it. But even if Sword and Shield does half as good as Sun and Moon era, let's even say that they do a quarter as good as Sun and Moon era, I'd be fine if my collection gained me an additional $15,000. Or even if you can't afford to buy 2 cases, buy 1 booster box and you're still going to profit in the thousands of dollars, which is absolutely incredible in 6 to 7 years, based on just like a hobby that we all love and want to collect anyways. Like that is pretty amazing. So we're going to look at some of the Sword and Shield era booster boxes now that I think are a really good purchase. So I'm going to flip the screen back around. Okay, so here we are with the Sword and Shield era. First one up is Vivid Voltage. This one I'm not like super high on. There is the Rainbow Chonkachu, which is a really cool card. People apparently, this is right before I got back into Pokemon, like a few months, maybe even a year actually, where I got back into it like in the long term. But Vivid Voltage was like a pretty popular set. People really liked the Pikachu. There's some other cool cards in this set. But it's kind of just been holding its own right around that $130 mark. Right now it's at $124.59. Remember that Sword and Shield era booster boxes MSRP is like $143 and change. So next we have Battle Styles, kind of the same thing. I think Battle Styles is a legit really cool set. Some people just tend not to like it, which is totally fine. It's one of those like kind of lesser sets out of Sword and Shield era, but it did come out with those alt arts. The Sleepy T is a sick card. So this one kind of just holding its own right in that $100 to $110 range all year long. It eclipsed $110 for a little bit there in the middle of the year, but not too bad. So these 2 sets specifically feels like, man, we're already 2 years old with these 2 sets, and we have like we're basically fast forwarding 2 years out of that 6 to 7 year time frame where you can still buy these booster boxes for way less than MSRP. Remember those 2 videos that I did about buying each product as they come and like investing in each set, no matter if they're good or bad. That was over a 6 to 7 year time period, and that was assuming that you bought for the MSRP price. These 2 booster boxes, you're still buying for way less than the MSRP price. So that's just like extra gains on top of that. Now we fast forward, Chilling Reign has been on a tear in 2023, moving into 2024, but this one I don't think is too late whatsoever. I think this is like easily top 3 or 4 set out of Sword and Shield, personally, just based on the pulls. And the fact that the pull rates are really tough, in my opinion, makes it like kind of almost juicier, just because when you pull something, it really means something, which I love. I love the chase of that. So Chilling Reign started the year in 2023 at $131. Now it's just been on a tear, especially the last couple of months here, ending right now at $163.52, which is a 24.5% gain. I could personally see this booster box being in like the couple of hundreds of dollars. Like I could see this one doubling in the next 5 years for sure. So even still, Chilling Reign came out in 2021. So 2.5 years old already. And we're already like, you're fast forwarding 2 years of that 6 to 7 year window out of the investment period, which is pretty fun. Fusion Strike, one of the later sets of 2021, also did not too bad during the the full year of 2023, up 11.7%, currently at $143. So this one right at MSRP. You are fast forwarding 2 years, still buying product right at the MSRP mark, and still having the opportunity that in 6 to 7 years, but actually 4 to 5 years, to see some pretty significant gains. Then we're getting into the later Sword and Shield sets. Brilliant Stars had that huge spike early on in 2023 on TCG Player. For whatever reason, it was really expensive. You could always buy this if you have access to Pokemon Center. This booster box was always available through this time, and for $143. So I don't know why the price was so high. Anyways, I do understand, because Brilliant Stars is always the booster box that I have a really hard time finding. Like, lots of stores just don't have it, or it's overpriced or whatever. So this one currently at $161.80. This is where the trainer gallery started in Sword and Shield area. So Brilliant Stars overall considered a really, really fun set, a really good set. So I think this one could age well. You're paying a little bit more than MSRP right now, but still probably not a bad time. Astral Radiance, one of the underrated sets out of Sword and Shield, in my opinion. You got that Machamp card, you got the Starmie V Trainer Gallery card, you got the Garchomp card, you have the Palkia and Dialga, the Beedrill. I love this set, actually. It's really, really fun. And you can still buy it for under MSRP. So doing really well, currently at $129.85. Lost Origin, you can see the potential in this graph right out of the gate after, like, I want to say 6 months after release, spiked up to $165. Then it came back down with reprints and more product being available. And now it's kind of starting to be on the climb again. But you're currently buying this for a little under MSRP, which is really nice. Current market price is $138.92 on that Lost Origin booster box. Silver Tempest, similar thing, spiked almost to $150 there after release, and then hit the reprint window there where lots of product was coming out. The single market for Silver Tempest is way down because of that, like those God packs out of the sleeved boosters, and out of those lunch tins, which is crazy. Anyways, the booster boxes still a good price, $130.97. And Silver Tempest, even though the singles are down, a really fun set to open, some really, really great cards. And then, of course, we have the wild card, which you all know is Evolving Skies, a huge year, moving from $331 to $442.97, which is a 33.5% increase. So, as we all know, Sword and Shield was like the COVID era where everyone got back into collecting. It was like this huge thing, huge Pokemon explosion in the market price, lots of scalpers, lots of like people coming in to invest and try and make a quick buck, which is not what this channel is about at all. I'm here for like the collecting investing, which is what I like to call it. I'm a collector investor where I like to build my collection. I also like to see the monetary value increase over time, but I'm not doing it to like flip for a profit in 2 to 3 months. I'm talking about like 5 to 10 years typically when we're talking about Pokemon investing. So Sword and Shield, I think, is just like a great buy. Like I was saying in the presentation side of things, Chilling Reign, Fusion Strike, Battle Styles, Vivid Voltage even. Lots of these sets 2 years old already, a little bit more than 2 years old already. And we're basically just like shaving off 2 years out of that 6 to 7 year window where we can start seeing these big gains, which I think is going to be really fun. Then we move into the trainer gallery sets. So Brilliant Stars, Astral Radiance, Lost Origin, and Silver Tempest. I mean, they're a year and a half old, but we have these sets where I think they're just really, really good sets out of Sword and Shield. So over time, it's the COVID era. My personal opinion is that people are going to remember this era. People are going to remember the game. People are going to remember the cards. People are going to remember the chase for some of these great cards. Like we have the Charizard from Brilliant Stars. We got the Machamp from Astral Radiance. We got the Giratina, the Aerodactyl from Lost Origin, the Lugia from Silver Tempest. Like some of these alternate arts are a work of art, legitimately. People are going to want to have that like taste of the chase yet again, especially because Scarlet and Violet Era has really been like a little bit easier. Lots of people pulling the chase cards, like the Miriam out of Scarlet and Violet base set, the Iono out of Paldea Evolved, the Charizard specifically out of Obsidian Flames was like quite an easy chase card to achieve. So I think people are going to remember that. And then we talked about the wild card, Evolving Skies. I am not entirely convinced that we've missed the big window there for Evolving Skies. It's already a big booster box at like $440 per box, so it's expensive already. Could we see it climb like Team Up climbed? I'm not sure we're going to see it on that level, but I could see Evolving Skies still going quite big. Like I was saying in the introduction, though, like seeing big percentage gains is what we actually want for our investment portfolio. So not necessarily monetary gains, because if we spend, let's say we spend $1,000 on Chilling Reign booster boxes, or we spend $1,000 on 2 Evolving Skies booster boxes. Well, for $1,000 for Chilling Reign booster boxes, we can get like 7 of them ish, something like that. For Evolving Skies, we can only get 2. And so if Chilling Reign increases by 50% and Evolving Skies increases by 20%, that means that we're going to make an additional 30% on our investment for Chilling Reign. Even though Evolving Skies booster boxes saw some big monetary gains, Chilling Reign saw smaller monetary gains, but bigger percentage gains. So if you spend the same amount of money, you're going to do really, really well. That's just how the math works. I hope that makes sense. The last thing I want to talk about before just sharing a couple additional thoughts here is Scarlet and Violet Era, which is just crazy. Scarlet and Violet Era is like insanely cheap right now. Plus we have TikTok deals, which I've seen people in my Discord going absolutely bonkers with TikTok deals, getting insane deals. Like, I'm so jealous that I can't do that in Canada right now. But we have like already the market price on Scarlet and Violet base, Paldea Evolved, Obsidian Flames, Paradox Rift, really, really cheap. All the booster boxes are sub $100, which is like almost at wholesale pricing. Plus then you get the coupons from different sites, and we're talking like you're paying under wholesale pricing. Now, remember back to those videos that I mentioned, and I'm going to put them down in the description for you to watch as well, even though the data's a little bit old, where if you just buy each set as it comes out and hold, you're going to see big gains. And that's based on buying at MSRP. So if you're buying at like almost half of MSRP, or let's call it 65% of MSRP, there's an additional 35% gain that you can get by buying these early and holding on to them. So that's amazing. Let's take a look at the 4 booster boxes out of Scarlet and Violet Era. Okay, so here it is, the Scarlet and Violet Era. We have Scarlet and Violet base set, currently at $88.36. I think that the wholesale price on these is like $90-ish, so this is just absolutely insane. Pile on a $20 coupon on TikTok deals, and you're getting this for an insane deal. Next, we got Paldea Evolved. I've talked about this one a few times. I think Paldea Evolved could do quite well in the future. It's got some really cool cards. It's got the Iono. It's got that elusive Magikarp, even though I pulled it once. I want to pull it again. Currently at $99.55. This one, these next few just felt like rapid fire. We had Paldea Evolved in June. Then we had Obsidian Flames in August. Obsidian Flames at $94.55. Then we had Paradox Rift in November. But in between that, in September, we had 151, which is my favorite set of the year. Absolutely crazy. But Obsidian Flames, $94.55. And then we had Paradox Rift at $97.37. This one's still on the decline a little bit. So all of these booster boxes are just going really, really low. I think if you can find good deals on these, it's just a great time to buy, even though you need to look at these with like that 6 to 7 year outlook. It's going to be a waiting game. I don't think you're going to see these prices on these booster boxes go up anytime soon, but over time, as this Scarlet and Violet Era ends in 2 years from now, and we move on to the next stuff, these, I think it's like the new silver borders of Pokemon cards, just amazing illustration rares. I think there's a lot to like about the Violet Era in general. So I'll flip the screen around, finish up my thoughts, and then we got to rip some packs, of course. Okay, so before I share my final thoughts, would you consider hitting that subscribe button if you haven't yet? It really helps out the channel. Hit the like button, leave a comment. All those things help the algorithm just like shoot my video out to more people. Trying to grow this thing into a huge community of awesomeness. I appreciate you all for watching. And if you really want to support the channel, I have that YouTube membership where the second tier gets you access to the discount codes for the live streams, gets you member shout-outs. We have members-only videos, all sorts of different stuff. Plus, it's just a huge support. So if you want to consider supporting me, do that. No pressure, but I appreciate it. Now, final thoughts. Scarlet and Violet, like I was saying, it's going to be a long-term hold. I don't see these booster boxes going up anytime soon. They're going to be around for a while. There's going to be reprints that happen. Pokemon, like I mentioned it in a few videos back where I talked about, like, does Pokemon care about collectors and investors? Of course they care about the collector a little bit because, I mean, they create illustration rares and special illustration rares, and they create like the Van Gogh Pikachu, and they create like different collection boxes. They want people to collect the Pokemon cards. But do they care about the investor? I don't think so. And not trying to beat this down with a hammer, I'm just like, this is a good perspective to have because we want to know that Pokemon is in it to make money. So I mean, they don't care if the secondary market goes down or up or whatever. I don't think. This is my personal opinion, of course. But if they want to reprint a set because they think it's popular and they can make some more money on it, they're probably going to do that. So, I mean, that's just something to keep in the back of your mind, that I think we're going to see reprints of Scarlet and Violet 151. I think we're going to see a reprint of Paradox Rift. Paldea Evolved, who knows? Maybe it's just like that short printed set that could do really well. I'm not sure. But these cards are still easily and readily playable in the TCG, so Pokemon Company wants to make sure that people can get their hands on that product to actually play the game too. Okay, so now moving on to my last thought here. It seems to me like through this whole COVID era, so I guess starting in 2020, 2021, I can't even remember it all, to be honest with you, but tons of people flooded into the Pokemon scene. Pokemon markets just seem to skyrocket. Pokemon Company is printing tons of product. And it seems to me like tons of people are actually like more interested in holding product long-term, holding sealed product. I don't know. I haven't been around the hobby for so long, but did people hold sealed product like they do now 5-10 years ago? I'm not 100% convinced that so many people did, but there was like big time YouTube channels that started talking about Pokemon investing, myself included. I started a year and a half ago now. Other channels, other different stuff talking about Pokemon investing. So lots of people, we're seeing lots of collectors start to hold sealed products. And I think that's creating its own like mini Pokemon economy. This is just an idea because I'm not an economist, but here's my idea. People saw these huge record gains from Sun and Moon era into Sword and Shield era through COVID. And like some people made a lot of money buying and selling Pokemon product because you could just like go to Walmart, buy it off the shelf, immediately sell it for more money. Like that's how crazy the scalping was during this whole era. So now I feel like there's like this sense that people expect to have big gains in the short term. And if they don't get that, they're just not going to be willing to sell it. So what I'm thinking is that potentially with all these people holding on to, let's say like, well, I have a case of Evolving Skies and I want to get a big gain from it. So if the market doesn't increase, I'm probably just going to hold it. I'm not in like dire need of the cash. I could afford the Evolving Skies booster case when I bought it. So I'm not like in a dire need. Maybe my situation will change and I'll have to sell it. But for right now, my goal is to make money on that product. So that means that I'm willing to hold it for however long until I see the specific amount of gain that I want. If more and more people are like that, holding these booster boxes, holding these elite trainer boxes, holding these cases of stuff until they see the market price at the level where they want, where they have to gain, that means that product isn't available. So the supply, even though it's out there, there's tons of people with product, there's not necessarily a supply for you as a purchaser to actually go add that to your collection or add that to your investment, which creates that supply and demand issue. If the supply is less, even though there's lots of supply out there, the supply isn't actually readily available. The demand is still there, so that's going to drive the price up. We're actually seeing this right now with distributors. Not that I have my own distributorship, but I know people who do, and I've been talking to them, and like I actually asked the guy from TCG and Games if he could get me a case of Evolving Skies. And he's like, yeah, I could, but it's crazy expensive because the distributors want their share of the profits. So it's not like they're just still selling at MSRP or the wholesale pricing. No. They're raising their prices so that they get their chunk of the pie as well. So we're even seeing this in like more recent sets. Scarlet and Violet 151, they sent out that first wave of product, and then immediately they raised the prices so that the actual like local game stores or the online game stores had to pay more money for the product, so then they charge the end consumer more money because the distributors want their piece of the pie. So all that to say, even though the Pokemon company is creating lots and lots of product, like everyone wants their little piece. Everyone has that like expectation from a few years ago where people could buy something, immediately flip it for a profit. And now we're seeing big sales. Like people can't get rid of some of the Scarlet and Violet Era, which is what's causing this crazy price short, I guess that's not the right word. Cheap is the right word. Crazy cheap booster boxes for Scarlet and Violet Era. And yet still these distributors are raising the prices, which means the game stores have to raise the prices, which means we have to pay more. So it's harder and harder to find a deal. But then we have the TikTok shop, which is making it easier to find deals. So it's just a really crazy economy. I think we're going to start to see maybe 2 years from now, maybe 5 years from now, a little bit of this weird economy where the supply is there, but people want profit. So the supply might not be there. I don't know if that's making any sense. I'm more just rambling now, but that's just my idea. Let me know what you think. Hope you enjoyed the content. I got some Astral Radiance to open up here, trying to pull that Machamp, but I've also never pulled the Starmie V, so let's go, baby. I'll see you on the flip side. Okay, so yeah, I got 10 packs of Astral Radiance. Still have never pulled the 2 top chase cards from Astral, which is the Machamp V Alt Art plus the Starmie V Trainer Gallery. If you weren't watching, just recently I broke the curse of Lost Origin, which was pretty amazing, by pulling the Aerodactyl. I had never opened an alternate art from Lost Origin, so that was really, really fun. Have never had much crazy success with Astral Radiance either. I have pulled the Palkia, but I think that's kind of it out of the big ones. I pulled the Lilligant too, I think, which that was a while ago. But really underrated set in my opinion. I think there's a lot of great cards. The Trainer Gallery is really good on it. Even like the Beedrill card is really, really cool. So I think there's a lot of cool cards in this set that could be all right. In terms of investing, I mean, I said it already, and it was a little bit of a ranty video, a little bit of a longer one, but I just think that there's a great opportunity. Ooh, I want the other Machamp. Come on. I think there's a great opportunity right now in 2024 to invest in Pokemon cards, especially if you have the budget to just like sit and hold. I think you could do really, really well. So just, it's a little bit of a patience game. You don't need to FOMO out, because the last thing you should do is just go buying booster boxes or ETBs right out of the bat. Do you like Miltank? I like Miltank. Come on. You shouldn't just go buying stuff right out of the bat. Sometimes pre-order pricing is a little bit high. You've seen it in like every Scarlet and Violet Era set so far, where the pre-order pricing is a little bit higher than normal. And then it slowly goes down as more and more of it is available and released into the public. Ooh, Radiant Greninja. Nice. Nice. Not too shabby. So, full disclaimer. The reason why I do that is a little bit different. I say that I like to practice what I preach. However, I do pre-order some stuff right away because, I mean, I have this YouTube channel. I want to stay relevant, so I want to be able to rip into the packs right as they come out, as well as for the live stream. I want to be able to have that stock available. So I probably do pay a little bit more than I need to for some of the new sets, but that's just the way it is. So this is some sort of V-Star. 3, 2, 1. Samurott. Okay. Very off-center. Kind of gross, actually. But 3 hits so far. Not too bad. Not too bad. But typically what happens for me is that, like, with Paradox Rift, for example, I bought 2 cases of booster boxes right out of the gate. I had them, like, the day before release day, I think. And then the live stream happens, and I go through, like, 9 booster boxes of it. So then I'm thinking to myself, well, I don't have much left. I immediately put one into my sealed collection so that I'm trying to collect one of every booster box ever. So when the new set comes out, I definitely put like one of them into that collection. And then I have a couple for sale, but then that's where I start going to look for the deals. So if you know that you're not going to sell all of them right off the bat, maybe you just like buy one booster box so that you can rip it open if you're into that right out of the gate. But then, like, my goodness, there was Boxing Day sales and there was Black Friday sales this year, and there was just like crazy sales all over the place. Like I don't even remember what I paid for a next. I bought an additional case of Paradox Rift, and I bought it for really, really cheap. Like, it was pretty amazing. The cheapest I think I've ever bought a case of booster boxes for. So you just gotta like be patient, search it out, and then be willing to hold. So the last thing I want to say, this is the last pack, don't go into debt for Pokemon. Like, it's just not worth it. This is a hobby. This is like something that you, I think personally, should be spending your fun money on, not your groceries and rent money on. So Rapidash to end it off. Nothing there. Not too bad. A V-Star. A very off-center V-Star. The Samurott V-Star. Then we got the Radiant Grey Ninja. And the wrong Machamp V. But that's okay. That's okay. Anyways, that's going to do it. I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to hit all the buttons for me. Subscribe. Hit the like button. Leave a comment. I appreciate all you watching. Let me know what you think about all this. It was a little bit of a longer video. Hope you enjoyed it. And until my next one, peace.